I'm up early and it's time to rise and shine. Let's go. Boom, baby. Boom. Rise and shine. It's a quiet morning marijuana motivation time. I've been talking with some friends. I've been up before sunrise. It happens when you go to bed early, you start to rise and shine. This morning, we're going to talk about extreme duality. Um, it's one of those things that affects us all. This amazing amount of nature, but like an old gurney and an old tub and some trash ready to burn. Extreme duality is around us and inside of us, and that's where Saint's Addiction was born. How can I be such a depressed person if I'm such a happy person? How can I be so stress free but sometimes filled with anxiety? And how come I can be in love and then be in lust at the same time? Why are my extremes so extreme? If you know what I mean. That's up this morning marijuana motivation. We're going to talk about it and be about it because life is so extreme for all of us. You know, I know my life, every time I mention something, I got friends that mention similar things. You know, I like to think that I'm excluded from these things, but I'm not. I've been up for a while. Yeah, that's natural light. We don't need that anymore. What I need is my inner light, right? I think that's what matters the most to people in life is that inner light. I heard my mom complaining that I had somebody else's happy. Don't be jealous of somebody else's positivity. I don't get the whole point of being jealous at all because what you're not seeing is their duality. I'm trying to get this thing going, but I got the fan on. Duality. There we go. It's always in comparison. You're always going to compare yourself to someone else, and oh, they got such a good relationship, or man, I really like their dad, or and we were just talking about it. It's like not everybody gets the same experience. You don't even get the same parent, bro. Like, how crazy is that? You could be brother and sister with somebody, and the parent just treats them different. They have a whole different interaction. They have different astrological signs. They get disciplined differently. Like, we live in a world that's so much duality. Here I am in the middle of the rainforest, but we push roads up the hill and we pave them and we put up blocks and then we put up wood on top of them and then we try to house ourselves inside of it. But just like anything, nature takes its way back. It doesn't care about our egos. It doesn't care about our perspectives or worries. Nature just keeps growing. And I find it so difficult to grow. I find myself so emotional. Like, I'm not supposed to be an emotional man. I'm not supposed to mourn the death of my babies. I'm not supposed to not have wants or needs. I'm not supposed to have. And same for women too. You know, what? Oh, if you have urges, then you're a whore. And then the duality, or whether they call that, there's an extreme. What do they call that? You guys know what I'm talking about? Extreme dichotomy that I'm talking about, duality that I'm talking about, but they call it a double standard. Thank you, Mr. Chirp. You know, the extreme double standard that this only applies to me, or it only applies to women, but everywhere is uneven. Life is a bitch. She don't care if you didn't pay your rent. She doesn't care if you're sick. You know, there's a world out there. There's a matrix where that people participate in it. And this is my fight club. This is why I create a weed club. This is my Tyler Durden moment where I come out with my six pack abs and knock motherfuckers out and spread it around the world. This was me put in my little light out in the world and be like, hey, I exist too. Anybody want to come near it? You know? Anybody want to come near my halo and feel it? Anybody want to be a part of something better, something happier? And that's where I find myself. Not, you know, walking up to the hooker's house at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning trying to get the wink, wink. Can I get some yum, yum? I've been up all night. I've been sleeping all night. I went to bed early and I've been up since like 4:30, and that's what I was like gonna do the morning motivation early before the sun really pops off. It's been getting hot out here, but you know, it's also dying out here, and it's so crazy the extreme dualities and everything. You know, like one moment it's packed with people, and the next minute it's dead because of low season. And 1 minute you're in love, and the next minute it's dead because you hate each other. And then one moment you're best friends, and then the next minute you got into a fight and it ends. And to know that these things end, to know that this life ends. And my mom's calling me talking about like we don't know how long. Grandma's, not that she's dying or anything. Don't let me put that out there, but that she's like 83, dude. Like there's a reality to it. Like she ain't living forever, bro. Like we gotta come up with a plan. We better start hanging out with each other more. Bless up to my Gma. Grandma, I love you. Thank you for always being there for me, sliding me money in my birthday cards or writing me actual birthday cards every year, and I would keep them, and I would write her letters too, and I've always checked on my grandma face, and I love you so much. Bless up to Gma. Building empires. 5 daughters, and my mom's the middle one. And life goes on whether you get it or not. And that's the thing I'm trying to not do is swing the dichotomy too far. And I'm up all night, or that I'm extreme love, or that I'm extreme depression, and these extremes of my life, the bipolarity, the saints, and the addiction, have been pulling me my whole life. It's been, you can go from homeless to $1 million views. You can go from depressed to super fit. You can go from lust to love. Who's to say? Who's to say you're not a narcissist too? To what extreme? Who's to say you don't have these toxic traits yourself? As people, we all exhibit it all. I see the whole range of emotions, again, with the whole range of experience for all people. It's not like I'm the only one that gets to feel happy. You'll get to feel happy, but you also get to feel sad. You'll feel excited, but you also get to feel bored. Sure, I'm in the hammock now, but my mom's in her holding pattern. I mean, we all kind of choose our own path. And what I want to play today, this morning, where's the other phone? Oh, it's underneath here. Um, what I wanted to play today was this. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, and I'm gonna do some audiobook reviews. But this one kind of got me. This one was pretty clever, and I didn't expect it to be, but almost went off early. It's called Think Straight. I'm 25 minutes in on it, but
Change your thoughts, change your life. Written and illustrated by Darius Forrest. If you can change your mind, you can change your life. William James. You become what you think. In 1869, a 27-year-old man, who had just graduated as a doctor of medicine from Harvard, was going through a crisis of meaning. This was not the first time he dealt with adversity. Throughout his 6 years in medical school, his education was interrupted by different illnesses and bouts of depression. But this time, it was worse. He even contemplated suicide for months. The young man's name was William James, who later became the leading psychologist in America and one of the founders of the philosophical school of pragmatism. It
What?
took James 3 years to overcome depression,
Bruh.
something he did by himself.
Bruh.
To be clear, James wasn't just feeling down. John McDermott, editor of the writings of William James, wrote about the severity of his mental state. James spent a good part of life rationalizing his decision not to commit suicide. James spent a good part of life rationalizing his decision not to commit suicide.
It repeats itself.
During
by the
this
way.
time,
It's kinda
James also had panic attacks and hallucinations. This wasn't new to him. His father
Funny.
faced the same agonizing things years
My
before
ex
him.
said something about panic
This
attacks,
feat made James
and my
believe that his
buddy said
condition was
something about
biological, and
hallucinations.
therefore something he couldn't overcome. But in 1870, James made a psychological breakthrough after reading an essay by Charles Renouvier, a French philosopher. In his journal, he wrote, "I think that yesterday was a crisis in my life. I finished the first part of Renouvier's second essays and see no reason why his definition of free will, the sustaining of a thought because I choose to when I might have other thoughts, need be the definition of an illusion. At any rate, I will assume for the present, until next year, that it is no illusion. My first act of free will shall be to believe in free will." This realization is at the core of pragmatism, the school of philosophy that James and Charles Sanders Peirce founded, years later. James realized that we have the ability to choose one thought over the other. In other words, we can control what we think. However, James doesn't say we can control our consciousness.
Wow.
When we sit down and observe our thoughts for a few minutes, we will notice that a lot of things flow through our mind. The thoughts are just there. Nothing we can change about that.
Boom.
But since we have free will, we can decide which thoughts we focus on. Hence, we can influence the direction of consciousness. This realization is critical to the way we live. It's the difference between "I can't help but feel this way" and "I feel this way because I decided to feel this way." The emphasis is on deciding. And that's what this book is about, with practice. You can get better
Decide
at
to be
controlling
happy.
your thoughts so you can decide what you think.
Decide to not be emotional.
And with better control over our thoughts, we can improve
put
the quality of
emotions
our
in better
lives and the
places.
outcome of our careers.
Put my energy
That's
in
my
better
proposition in
places.
this book. You
Focus
have the
on
ability to
business.
decide what you think.
Do
And
something
since
with
the
my
result of
angst.
your life depends on your thoughts, I think it's the most important thing in life. When we improve the way we think, nothing is impossible to achieve. That simple realization changes everything. Many great thinkers have written about the importance of thoughts. But William James' godfather, Ralph Waldo Emerson, who also
What?
inspired James a great deal, put it most simply: you become what you think about all day long. I believe that's true. But we must realize that actions follow thoughts.
Oh shit.
That means you can't change your actions without changing your thoughts.
Oh shit.
Let's start. Why do we need a book on practical thinking? The human brain is the most important tool we have. It's more important than any technology, device, or instrument. Robert Greene, the author of Mastery, put it best: if there is any instrument you must fall in love with and fetishize, it is the human brain, the most miraculous, awe-inspiring, information processing tool devised in the known universe, with a complexity we can't even begin to fathom, and with dimensional powers that far outstrip any piece of technology in sophistication and usefulness. However, there's one problem. We're born with this great tool, but we don't know how to use it properly. We're highly impractical beings. We think that we're good thinkers, but research paints a different picture.
Damn.
We think we make practical decisions that we base on logic. But that's not the case. As Dan Ariely, author of Predictable Irrationality, writes, we usually think of ourselves as sitting in the driver's seat, with ultimate control over the decisions we made and the direction our life takes. But, alas, this perception has more to do with our desires, with how we want to view ourselves than with reality. Emphasis mine, it's safe to say we're not practical thinkers. The proof of that is the list of more than 100 cognitive biases, or thinking errors, that scientists have found over the last century. We often make decisions based on gut feelings, emotions, and without having the right information. I've read several books about better thinking and decision making.
Assumptions.
I liked them. But I had one problem with all the books in this field: they weren't practical. They do a great job of describing why we think the way we think by sharing stories. But I couldn't find a practical book that explained how to change the way you think. That's why I wrote this little book. It contains everything I've learned about thinking. My goal is to give you at least one idea that you can use to improve your thoughts, and consequently, your life, business, or career. That's why I share all my best ideas here. I wrote things in a way that you can read it more than once. And I hope this book serves as an anchor to you, especially during trying times. To keep this book practical, I combine theory, stories, and personal experiences to share advice you can apply, or not. The first idea I want to share is that these types of books only work if you're open-minded. If you think that's not you right now, I can save you an hour of your life. Just get rid of this book. Burn it, ask for a refund, give it away, whatever. No matter what you do, decide clearly, use it or leave it. Use what works. I'm not a neuroscientist, psychologist, philosopher, or any type of expert on the topic of thinking. I'm a person who has lived his entire life under the impression that you can't control your thoughts. That way of thinking didn't serve me well. I was happy one day, sad the next. I got angry easily. And I couldn't find solutions to simple challenges I faced in my career, business, and relationships. But through experience, journaling, reading, and a lot of introspection, I found a way to get better at thinking. How do I know I'm better at thinking than before? I'm no longer a slave to my thoughts, and I'm much happier because of it. I use my mind, and it's no longer the other way around. To me, that's the definition of better thinking. It has nothing to do with how smart you are or how many mathematical equations you can solve. It's about using your mind to get what you want. I don't pretend to have all the answers to thinking better, though. However, I do have the answers to how I've used nothing but my thoughts to live a happier, healthier, wealthier, and more meaningful life. I'm the living proof of the change your thoughts, change your life idea. Only 3 short years ago, I was stressed out of my mind, gave up my entrepreneurial desires, and hated my life. I felt stuck. But I don't want to be too dramatic about my situation.
Thank you.
I think we've all been there. And if you haven't felt stuck in your life, it's only a matter of time before you will. It's a natural part of modern-day life. I'm not trying to scare you, though. But you know how all these self-help books go, right? I was down and out. I lost all my money. I was depressed. My life sucked. But then I discovered X. And then my life changed. X is, of course, the idea they want to sell you. Since I'm honest with you, I'm no different. For example, in this book, I want to sell you on the idea of useful and useless thoughts. But there's a difference. I'm giving you my perspective, nothing more.
Duality.
It's up to you to decide what you're going to do with it. John Dewey, a pragmatist, and one of the fathers of functional psychology, famously said, "The true is that which works." But that doesn't mean we should believe everything we hear or read. That makes us delusional. If we want to think straight at all times, we must stay grounded, look at facts, listen to other people's perspectives, and only then draw practical conclusions. Clear thinking requires training. I view the mind as a muscle that requires regular training to keep strong. One way to train your mind is by learning new things. But I always thought that learning ends when your education ends. For some, that's when they leave high school. For others, it's when they get their bachelor's or master's degree. During our time in school, we learn new skills, ideas, and theories that change the way we think and operate in the world. But when we've established a way of thinking, we hardly change it. We prefer to entertain the same thoughts because they give us a sense of familiarity. We've learned that novelty is a scary thing, so we do everything to avoid it. We're creatures of habit who prefer relaxing our mind instead of straining it. I need to relax and watch something on Netflix, is something I hear almost everyone, of all ages, say these days. I've said it myself as well. That makes me wonder what we need rest from. From the repetitive tasks we do at work? From the familiar thought patterns we have? If you really think about it, we hardly strain our minds unless there's a specific reason, like a test or exam we have to take. Otherwise, we often think, what's the point? Well, the point is to train your mind just like you train your body to keep fit. You don't go to the gym for 4 years and quit for the rest of your life. So why don't you exercise your mind the same way you do your body?
Okay.
What's more, the mind is the single most
Bet.
important tool you have.
Bet,
And
motherfucker.
if
You're
you want
fucking
to
with the
use that
wrong
tool
one right now.
properly, you must train the mind.
Doing it
Stoic
now.
philosopher Epictetus put it best: the life of wisdom is a
Epictetus.
life of reason. It is important to learn how to think clearly. Clear thinking is not a haphazard enterprise. It requires proper training. The problem is that we don't know how we must get proper training, as Epictetus put it. For most of my life, my thoughts were out of control. I never thought about thinking. If you asked me to draw my thoughts, it would look something like this. That mess you see up there is how the inside of my mind looked like. It was pure chaos. Just a mush of positive, negative, sad, happy and, above all, confusing thoughts. I always thought to myself, why can't my brain stop? Where's the pause button? Looking back, I didn't know how to use my brain as the wonderful tool it is. From chaos to clarity. In 2014, I moved to London from Leeuwarden, the Netherlands, the city where I grew up. I went from a city with 100,000.
So I'm gonna stop it there. I'll do a full review. It's a fucking hour 25 minutes up to 12:12. Wow, on the dot. Um, uh, minutes of it. I think I'm like 25 minutes into it, but I want to do book reviews. I'm gonna do some live book reviews for my next morning motivations. I've screenshotted maybe 20 books that I want to go through. Most of them have free audiobooks on YouTube, so up to you if you want to listen to them. I like putting them in my earphones and watching them during sunset, or listening to them during sunset and watching the waves. Um, mental, bro. That's why I do this show. I think it's not only my online diary and my traveling trips around the world and what other places look like and hot spots, but it's also, a very spiritual journey for me. I feel very deeply, and I find that my thoughts move so quickly. One of the tips that I learned, thanks Alux, anybody knows Alux, ALU for a luxurious life. People that dream big and want more and want to be better humans, I highly recommend listening to that channel. But for a luxury life, you're going to have to live quality in your mind. And of course, it helps to be in a quality environment, but to think straight, to be able to get yourself there, you know, happy when you don't want to, getting out of bed. What did he say for 5, 6 years straight, 7 years straight? Michael Phelps was in the water every day. Birthday didn't matter, Christmas didn't matter. Tired didn't matter. And that's what he said. That's what takes a person to go good from great. And that highlights my greatness. I want to work on my weaknesses. I'm not good at confrontation. I'm maybe too much. Well, then I am. Not maybe. I'm too much in my own ego to expose the real me. I think I do it on the show, but even that could be a show. And I worry that my narcissism self sabotages my future on a regular basis. To be that extreme, to be somebody that wants to do Saints Giving and build an app to feed the homeless, and it's a great idea, but it still hasn't happened. I haven't had enough money to get a 501(c) yet. Start the nonprofit, but trust and believe. I love feeding the homeless. It's just not to virtue signal, not to love bomb, but because I was homeless. And then I'd start making myself the victim because I was in prison. But then I'm also aware, it's extreme dichotomy of I shouldn't have had my friendship lead to South Korea. I wouldn't be in prison. If I had registration and insurance on my car or my truck for all these years, or a driver's license, I wouldn't have got arrested as much. And they're on my impetus, and I try to defend myself like she was stonewalling me. I shouldn't have put hands on her. Or I was starting a business and I didn't have the money. Or what other excuses that I give to cover my behaviors, it's still not enough. I want to have the behavior right when the moment is happening. And try as I might, it seems like I can't do it right. It seems like I'm gasoline on fire. People don't like me. Some people love me. I still have friends around the world. And I'm grateful for them. If it wasn't for my friends, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have made it this long. Amen to my support system. uh, I've been smoking a lot of spliffs with tobacco in them. My radical honesty and my shallowness. My friend said, "No, you're so shallow." You know, want to have this perfect life that I've been working so hard for, live in the perfect spot and have the perfect body and have the perfect wife and have the perfect life, and nothing is perfect. It's all manufactured. It's all either you make it, you gotta create it. You gotta create peace. There's no rhyme or reason to this shit. Like the ants are going this way. Last night they were going all up this way. What you gonna do? Kismet, as they say in Turkish. Kismet. It's like Seslavi in Roman, and Italian. Such is life, and we want it to be so linear. That's what I was learning in this. I'll do the review, but I'm saying our thoughts aren't linear. It doesn't mean A equals B equals C, and we expect it to. We expect life to be perfect for us. That it needs to match a movie that was manufactured, clipped, edited, and made to be. It's like cartoons, dude. If it wants 6 legs, you can have 8 legs, bro. It's manufactured. But in real life and game speed, even if you try to manufacture your personality, your character is what your response rate will be. The way you've been thinking, maybe your whole life or recently, you can tell people are reading each other. I was closing my eyes because Alex was saying that we process 80% of our data through our eyes. That means if you close your eyes, you can retain more of your hearing, more of your feeling, your sensations. And to center yourself is fucking such a trip, I find it easier now by myself. I'm in a quiet jungle at fucking 7 o'clock in the morning. But Lord knows it's 7 p.m. My brain's running to and fro. And I know that I'm in a happy place. I'm in my happy place. I'm in my fittest, caddest, sexiest moment. And why am I still susceptible to depression? Why is my friend could go from the northern lights to Portugal and also feel depression? Why do we never have enough? And why do we make good things and turn them into bad? And why do we even have enemies? Why is the world at war? What in the fuck, bro? I can't right now. Where do I go? Can't stay here. What should I feel? What should I have done? Can't change the past. Why am I repeating past mistakes? Why am I the way that I am? Bro, if you don't know extreme duality, then you're not thinking straight. And you should be listening to Think Straight, the book too. So I'll do a book review possibly tomorrow. Let me smash the rest of it, but mind blowing. Extreme dichotomy. That's what Saints Addiction's all about, bro. How can I be so saintly and so perverty sometimes, and How can I be so giving and yet stingy and jealous and envious sometimes? And how can I be like, oh, I'm not envious, I'm my own man, but it works on all of this? And how come when homeboy tried to say it all happened when you did X? I wanted to know what X was. Is that not marketing or what? I'm like, what's X? I want to take it. Is it some pills? Is it some powders? Is it something I can consume? Is it a book? Can it help me not feel the way that I'm feeling? Can it make me a better man? Can it make me faster, better, stronger? Like $6 million man? Come on now. Is it possible to just keep throwing positive thoughts into your world, counter every negative thought? Is it possible to even be that fit? You can do 100 sit ups, but 100 push ups, trying to work on 100 pull ups, and uh, do that with my positive thoughts. Actually, push down the demons and when I'm doing my push-ups and pull myself up from the negativity when I'm doing my pull-ups and sit up and get back up when I'm doing my sit-ups. I have mantras. I'm very disciplined. I think I'm a calm person. And then extreme things happen to me, like get kicked out of bars because I'm sober, or extreme breakups, violent even, or losses, losses of life or product, business, money, phones, trucks. It's enough to miss the bus, man. And how do we handle being alright with loss? How do we handle loss? Loss of love, loss of life, loss of jobs. Fucks with people's lives. Life is just so. Karma is a bitch. Just make sure that bitch is beautiful. Life on the edge. I'm dangling my feet. I try to pay attention, but attention paid me. Haters can't see. Nosebleed seats, and I went to shopping and talk is still cheap. And if they're thinking, then it's action. And I've been putting so much of my thoughts into action, but I couldn't stop my actions. And as much self control as we can have, just like Sadea Khan was saying, she's like, I'm on my treadmill watching myself so I can see myself on the Instagrams. She's on everybody's reels, but she was saying that the tough part is that she can control. She doesn't do drugs, right? She doesn't. She's a Muslim, so she's like a devout Muslim, right? She's a pretty Muslim, and not that all Muslims are pretty, but like that's her shtick. And for the rest of it, like faithful woman and honoring her man and being there, right? She's not a mother yet. It's not kind of chip in her there. Like she kept saying, God willing, God willing, God willing, inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. And and wow, I wonder why she didn't say it that way. When she lives in Dubai, she probably said inshallah. But she kept putting it out there. But some things are missing. You could be pretty popular but not have children. You could be confident but not have self-esteem. There's a strange dichotomy here. So you could literally what was he saying to her? You can literally like be a straight laced motherfucker, live a clean life. She doesn't smoke, she doesn't do drugs, she doesn't cheat. But man, does she get angry. And who does she take it out on? Her loved ones. The worst. The people that care for you. The people that are going to bring you chicken soup, bro. The people are going to love you thick and thin. And what do? I'll wait. And I'm not going to pretend to be a saint. I don't do that on this show. That's why I saw Saints Addiction. You know, how do I put hands on it? Like I don't want it to get exaggerated because it's recorded because you don't want to think. Well, you don't want people to think that you're like smashing Donkey Kong something crazy, very wrong shit going on. No, but my father did hit my mother, and I don't want to inherit the traits. But sometimes I'm not nice to my mom, and I lose my patience with her. I lose patience with other women, and have distrust for women. And if I distrust women, then I make them my enemy. And if I make all people my enemy, then I'll have no friends, and then I'll marginalize myself, which I've done. I've isolated myself. I come to the ends of the world to slip, swinging a hammer, smoking spliffs, talking about my life while the sun rises. I find it helps me sort my thoughts a little bit more because I don't have a bunch of neighbors, so I don't have to hear their bullshit. And I already have too much of my own bullshit. And I'm so much of a narcissist that it's about my bullshit every morning. Or am I really trying to learn my way out of this to think straight, to get to just must have flipped something right? I mean, here, I don't know how long it can stay. Everybody's talking about money or weather or war. Much rather live before the earth dies. Much rather appreciate the last gas, the last steaks, the last tuna. And is that productive to think that way? Will that help anything at all to not believe in humanity? To not believe in redemption? To not believe that there's just one kid that's really trying hard, like I try, like fucking really concentrate. Like I'm gonna fucking make plastic bricks out of these tires. I'm gonna fucking what's the other dude doing? I watch all of them. Shit, I just watch all of them. Oh, what was the what she turned the seaweed into? There's a big problem with it. Is the monkeys coming in? It was a seaweed situation. What'd she do with the seaweed? Damn, I'm high. But you can go watch it. There's got to be inspiration out there. There's got to be ignition. There's got to be people trying to be on the mission and like at least do something with it. And I'm virtue signaling, but I really this is my mission, and maybe some people can't get the magic out of me. Maybe I mirrored them. You know, maybe I'm the problem. I factor it all in. I even factor in non-thinking. If you're gonna overthink, I put in non-thinking. You know, go swimming or smoking or literally just come up with a different topic and obsess about that. But the heart moves and the subconsciousness moves. The flickering of that light to and from each room that's in the darkness in the recesses of your mind, the attic, the basement, where you fly, so quickly, especially about the amount of data that they were calculating and what comes through our eyes and our ears. And it feels good now to just keep my eyes closed. It makes the words travel better. To be a better traveler, I had to be a better person. I had to be better with communication and patience and seeing what people want out of conversations. Are they there just to hear me listen to them? Do they need a psychologist? Should I psychoanalyze my friends? Should I be so judgmental? Where do you set your expectations? Limitless or grandiose? Are you a covert narcissist? Or are you just abusive? Mean? No apologies? You never fucking know with people. You could be a fucking freak in the sheets and a fucking lady in the streets, bro. You don't fucking know. You don't know what people are doing and how they're gonna do it and what they act like behind closed doors. We can virtue signal all we want. Oh, my good friend walked past and said, "Hey, where you going? What the fuck's it to you?" It was like, what the fuck was that? You just walked right past me at the restaurant. There's no one in the streets. I like you. I love you. You're my friends. You hugged me on my birthday. The only hug I got. And you run some fuck off fucking bullshit. And what would I do to you? Is it possible to live your life that you dream? Is it possible to do everything? The books, the push ups, the seminars, the tears, the fears, the broken relationships. Is it possible to live the life of your dreams? And if it's even there that you work so hard to get to a happy place, that depression can find you there, how dare I? Robert Greene got to a moment where he's like, I'm not allowed to complain anymore. I felt that way about this place. I'm just not allowed to complain, but I find myself gossiping, complaining. Narcissistic tendencies. Welcome to a small island. I didn't know my neighbors would look like Junkyard Dog and be on ice. I didn't know they were playing nice till they were playing mean, hammering at all times of the day and night. Extreme duality. One time she was gifting me weed. Now we're not friends anymore. Now I'm judging her. Now she gets no quarter. She gets no mercy. That part's in me. That way we treat prisoners. I've been a prisoner and I don't like the way that they treated me. And sometimes I treat people callously. Like, no, I don't want to meet you. I don't like your vibe. I'm not going to treat you like a human. I might ignore you. We're not friends anymore. Let me pretend like I don't see you. And let me block you on social media. And let me dehumanize you. Let me control you. Let me at least, wait, no, I'm in control. Am I? Am I in control if you fucking can take the smile off my face when you come by? If I can't keep my smile, who's in control? And if I can't communicate effectively, then I'm not doing it right. Like this guy just said, you're just not doing it right. If it's work, it must be right. You know, you got to do the work if it works. So if you're getting some positive results, keep doing that work. At least I'm here and not in a cubicle crying. The benefits are real. It makes love feel real. It makes fucking you feel sexy. It makes you feel surreal. And then I lived this life for like 6 months, a year, half a year, and then it gets repetitive. And then you can even get island fever. It's extreme duality. You're gonna make really good friends, traveling, instant friends, lifelong friends, and then they'll walk down the street and motherfuck you. Kind of what his girlfriend did when she attacked me a couple months ago. I really fucked with my head. I had to push her up against the wall. She couldn't attack me here. Extreme duality. Fuck yeah, in my face. I didn't do anything to you, dude. But the other guy, don't take a picture. Oh, angry at me. I'm like, I don't even see you in months, and I didn't just take a picture of the horror movie. What's been in your head for the last 2 months? For reals? Because I did a fucking hyperlapse video of you guys doing the work. Did you work that whole 4 hours sitting there like I hate this guy? And then I learned they put a ladder over it to cover it. Like it must have bugged them. And am I too entitled to see it because I don't see their perspective because I'm a black and white thinker and I'm a tourist and I'm like, oh, no, fuck down. It ain't all that. For some people, it is all that. I've even seen it on Benny Mac's show. He was live, and sometimes he's a little too live. He's a little too much in people's faces. He kind of breaks code. And I realized that when I go live, it changes the vibe. It changes the vibe of me, changes the way that I act, and I still happy after I get off of this show. I see motherfuckers daily on the regular, on the beach, during the time of my life. Put your hands in the air, put your hand out, hold the sun, make everybody jealous time. I'm really happy to make everyone jealous. What? Or you're just really happy. Or maybe you're just taking photos. Or maybe you're narcissistic and you want everybody to think that you're having the time of your life to start a travel Instagram page and you're using people. Maybe both are right. How can yin and yang have both inside of it and yet separate? So confused. So confused. You know? They say I should look for stable love, not rocket love. Do you want to be in a rocket or do you want to be stable? Do you like extremes or does that make you manic? Are you narcissistic or do you not admit it? And if you don't admit it, does it make you in denial? Well, if we all have it, then we're all on it. We're all eating the soylent green. It's humans. We're all eating each other's attention. We'll fucking suck that shit up like snorting like cocaine. People will do the weirdest things for attention. Body augmentation, tattoos, travel before meeting. Like, bro, we really have to watch the drugs we're on. The whole time I've been calling it Saints Addiction, and they're all feelings, they're emotions, they are habits. They're like little characteristics that I really thought it was like just stop smoking. I love my weed. Stop smoking cigarettes. Here I am sprinkling tobacco in there still. Stop drinking. I've stopped drinking, but I had a beer, couple beers, 1 or 2 months into this trip because my buddy gave me a bunch of weed. But then he was like, "Oh, you gotta drink with me," and I didn't stick to my guns. But then my friend was like, "What? You drink? I never see you drink. You used to be a pillar man. I was proud of you." Da, 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 da. I was like, "Nah, man. You know, Josito just gave me a beer and some weed. He gifted me like 3 grams of weed. Gave me like a full eighth. No, no, no. You know, pay." And the next minute, he was mad at me because I was fighting somebody else. And then people know me as a fighter, and then that ruins my reputation. But I'm also feel like I'm sticking up for myself, but then I'm sticking up for people that don't even care about me. Battling my mom, my loved ones, like battling inside. What a weird ride. Life is such a fucking trip. You go from fucking multi-million-dollar views to depression. You could be wherever you want and still feel different. Wherever you go, there you are. And the battle's in your brain. War in the world, battle in the brain. Consciousness isn't healing, it's creating more pain. We're not leveling up, we're quitting, isolating, and consuming things we buy to cover up what's inside. And what's inside is love somewhere, but then it's sad. And then it's jaded. Then it's a jagged little pill to swallow the truth. And time keeps ticking. Time's the ultimate like bitch in the group. It's not karma, it's time. At least karma is equal. Whatever you do with the dark comes out in the light. But time is a bitch. She's undefeated. Undefeated. Mother Nature, not so much. She's getting defeated. She's getting polluted. She's having a tough time. And God willing, she keeps going. Inshallah. But fuck me, bro. If it ain't tough life, say tough life is like tough in your mind, or is your life really that tough? And I would say it when we were like kicked up in a hammock looking up at palm trees, like tough life, ordering whatever we want to eat, breakfast in the fucking jungle. You know what I'm saying? Like, tough life, right? Like, but it's not. It's how tough we make it. You think tough life? These two girls just went up on a motorbike with a fucking heavy ass fucking propane tank up a hill, like they're dudes. You think you have a tough life? There's a woman in Calcutta with 5 kids. I'm sure she has a tough life. There's a dude in sandals in a fucking mine pit trying to pull out cobalt by his hands because it's an integral part of electric vehicles. There's literally slavery in Bangladesh. Like, they're so poor that they're ripping apart fucking oil tankers, and that's where we send them all. We send them all there so they can rip them apart, dangerous, dirty jobs. But we're trying to build robots. Dull, dangerous, dirty jobs. Robots are coming. And AI is replacing creativity. Just slighted its ideas. What did you come up with? Okay, there's my idea. Whatever it came up with was my idea. Instead of sketching it out. Instead of taking notes. Instead of mending. Everybody's blocking. It's the only way. Go no contact. Well, if both parties go no contact, then how do people communicate? That's how Cold Wars get started. That's why they have that red hotline. It was like, hey, hotheads, don't launch nuclear devices. Don't hurt your kids. Don't bring them into this shit. Oh, you're so hot and heated that you have no emotional stability to control it in front of children? That's about everybody. And then they end up mimicking us and modeling us, and then we inherit their traits. I mean, WTF, bro. What the fuck, bro? That's a fucking trip, bro. Full on trisnet. I'm sick of tripping. Trisnipping. You know what I'm saying? That's why I smoke weed. I figured I'd talk about my thoughts while I smoked in the morning. Call it the morning motivation because I try to motivate myself and learn new tricks, read books, listen to them actually, audiobooks. Try to practice it in real life. Smile at people, keep an open mind, keep an open heart. I wouldn't say I walk with God. I don't go that route with it. This isn't that kind of thing for me. But I'm also not trying to do a bunch of shit for full moon ceremonies. I write my shit down, I throw it in the fire, and that's it. Go dancing, hang out with my friends. It's all about being under the full moon and just enjoying its powers. But waking up in the middle of the night and doing it for hours till the sun rises, I'd rather get regular sleep. My sleep is my peace. It's the rejuvenation of my body to make up for all the damage I did to it, all the smoking I've done to it, all the fucking talking I've done to it, all the walking I've done to it, all the workouts, the healing, the mind, the resting of the mind. But I mean, I guess it's not bad every once a month, but it's not bad swimming in the ocean naked under it either. I'll tell you what. But I think that's it on the journey of our lives is to figure it out. You're gonna have to figure yourself out. You're gonna have to see if that's your character or your upbringing, your environment. You don't even have to be a psychologist or a psych degree to learn yourself. You don't even have to find your own emotional regularity or get taught by it. We get taught by our anger. We take it out on ourselves, and it shows ourselves. There's like no hiding anything. And that's why I think it's like, some of the realest stuff. To keep it real and have separate thoughts, have separate opinions. There's so much duality in everything. And I know it. You know, you might have a friend be your best friend and still think that she's a slut. You don't want to tell that to her face. You would hurt her feelings. But you're like doing slutty behavior. You might have a buddy, been your buddy a long time, but he's on meth. You're like, you're still my friend, but you're on meth, bro. You're a full-on addict. You're ruining your potential. Can I say that to his face? Yes. Have I said it to him in text? Yes. Have I fucking said it on live? Yes. Three faces we all have: the ones we show the world, the ones we show ourselves, and then this other one I can't remember, but you know, it's there. I think I screenshotted it. Hold on. I think I screenshotted it. I'm taking these notes, going to the seminars, and traveling abroad. And it seems like the endless motherfucking journey. Some of our friends got their shit together, some don't. You know, life keeps going on. I'm lucky to have my friends listen to me, bitch, from all over the world. What is it? What is it? It must be on that phone. Yeah. Is that it now? What's the philosophy of three faces? Come on, Wi-Fi. Kick in, man. I need some fucking Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi. Show the world. Let's be a little bitch. Little bitch. Well, so now I have Wi-Fi to do it, so I won't do it. But I think it's high time everybody faces their yin and yang side. That's why I'm half black, half white. That's why my logos are black and white. Duality, extreme duality, and I think I've done a show before called Extreme Duality. So this is the second time I've had to mention it. The human experience, bro. What a trip. And now I hear an airplane going over. You never hear airplanes by this island. That's like once every blue moon. If you were deserted on this island, you might hear that once a month. You'd be trying to fucking set a fire just to get their attention. You need to be rescued. And we all need to be rescued. I think we all need friends to talk to. I think we all need psychologists. I think we all need coaches. I think we all need mentors. And I think we all need teachers. I think we all need love. I think we all need sex. I think we all need touching. I think we all need trust. I think we all need to be safe. I wish no one would get angry at each other. I wish no one would get sad. I wish no one would fucking have feuds. I would wish no one to get into fights. I wish people didn't have disagreements, but that's just not true. And unfortunately, we live a life that's not very fair. A planet that's not really balanced, and politics that are out of order. And that's my morning marijuana motivation. If you got anything out of this show, please like, share, and subscribe below. Have you felt extreme duality in your life? Do you find yourself running from thought to thought, emotion to emotion? Are you well balanced? And how do you keep it? How do you keep yourself balanced? And truck noise in show. I'll see you on the other side, yo. Peace and love. Chi, Gathan. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'll see you on the other side. Ciao. Bella. Beijos. Breeze and trees. Amen.